Hello, hello, good morning. As always, we'll give a few minutes for anyone that needs to hop on. Morning, morning. Happy Taurus season, by the way, to all my Taurus sons who've got birthdays coming up. One additional prop today for today's class, if you have a moment to grab it really quickly. So same as normal, we're going to use a blanket to be sitting on. You may also want to grab some Kleenex or tissue, some type of paper product, a handkerchief. We're going to be doing a little bit of breath of fire today. So anytime that I do breath of fire, it's a rapid inhale and exhale through the nose. Snot is going to fly, most likely, especially if you are in Texas right now, right in the middle of allergy season. So you want to take a quick sec and grab that. It will probably be for the best. And while you're doing that, I'll take a moment to just walk you through sort of the topic for today. So we are working on how to end self-sabotage. And this is a big one. And I wanted to touch on it because if you're like me, you're getting to this place now where the adrenaline has run out of the initial sort of shock of things that are happening in the world, all of the changes that we're trying to absorb and integrate and implement into everyday life. And you may start feeling kind of worn out and kind of tired. And I'm definitely there with you. I've also been noticing that I've had more tension in areas than I'm used to. I've been sleeping a little tense. I've been just sitting tense. And these are things that I've noticed through my practice, to where when I'm doing that scanning, I'm noticing, oh man, okay, now my jaw is really tense. I've noticed that I've been sort of clenching for a really long time. Or maybe I wake up and I'm in pain. Or when I'm sleeping, maybe I've got my arms clenched up, maybe they're crossed, maybe I'm feeling a lot of tension there. So this is starting to show up when the body's trying to give us these messages, maybe when we've not been listening to them so long. And it's a part of the ego that's trying to come in, that part where we've got these two different radio stations in our brain. And one is for the ego, one is there to say kind of like, okay, I'm seeing all of the fears that are going on. I'm seeing all of these things that I am not okay with. I want to stay comfortable where I am in my bubble. I do not want to adapt. So it may start looking like making up excuses for things, making reasons to procrastinate on issues, making reasons to not connect with people in our lives, making reasons to put items on the to-do list out of the way. And I'm not talking about, like, I know a lot of stuff is up in the air. And so I know that it's not necessarily connected to stuff that we can't control right now, but feelings of scarcity, feeling like there's not enough time, there's not enough money, there's not enough toilet paper, there's not enough supplies, right? Those feelings that come up and make us want to stay small, make us want to curl up in a ball, make us not be able to function in a way to where we can continue to do that. So we're going to work on a couple of things today. We're going to do breath work, we're going to do movement, we're going to do meditation, and this is all going to be guided and directed right at the ego. So we're going to work on ego eradicator, which is one that I do every single morning. And I'll show you how cool it is and how just kind of opens everything up. So we'll do ego eradicator. Our Kriya today is going to be Surya Kriya, and that's the sun energy. I teach this one quite a lot in my classes, so you may be used to it. But it reminds me of just getting that sun energy. You're getting to this area where you're tapping into your willpower. Because when we self-sabotage, And the mind is telling us all of these things of like what we can't do or we shouldn't do or we don't have time to do. And that would be stupid if you even tried to do that. And why would you even say this thing to this person? That might not be helpful. When you start second guessing yourself so that you're not taking action, we want to tap into the other side of that balance. We want to get into that willpower. So Surya Kriya is all about solar plexus. It's tapping into that sun energy. It's giving us a place to where we can remember that we have choice. And we can tune into that second radio station, which is more of like the soul or the spirit, that knowing, that intuition that guides us, that says, this is the right thing to do. This is a sensory information that you can trust your gut with, that even though it's scary, you can still lean into it a little bit and you're going to be okay and you're going to be fine. So the Kriya will do that. And then the meditation that we have is also for changing the ego. So that'll be another bit of breath work there, where we do a little bit of box breathing. So I just wanted to say, if you're experiencing any of these things, I see you. I know exactly what it's like. I know that it sucks, but there's a way that you can conquer it too and kind of just be like, hey, shut up. Like, thank you. Thank you for trying to warn me. Thank you for trying to look out for me, but I'm actually okay right now. I'm actually in a place where I can move forward on this one thing, or I can have this one conversation, or I can make this one connection. It's there to protect us, but a lot of times it can kind of take a nosedive a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started and get comfortable. And we'll just come into that seated cross-leg position so that we can tune in before we get started. So get yourself seated, comfortable, maybe pull the fleshy parts out from underneath your bum. Feel that, where you are connected to the ground, connected to the earth. Close your eyes, bring that gaze inward and upward at the third eye. Begin to connect to your breath here. Some deep belly breathing, starting from the diaphragm. So inhaling deeply, feeling that belly expand, feeling the ribs widen. Exhale deeply. When you're inhaling, it may feel like some of this tension is sort of coming to a point, coming to a head. On the exhale, you just release that. It almost feels like warm water washing over you. So continue to connect to that breath. Begin to do a little bit of mental scanning. Notice where your body's at. Notice where your posture is connecting. As you start to feel connected to where your body is at on the earth. So it may be your sit bones, maybe the side of your foot, the side of your shin. Start to feel yourself rise up through your spine. So through the base, all the way up through the crown of your head, almost like someone was pulling on a string. So with each inhale, feel those ribs widen out to the side. Each exhale, feel the spine elongate up through the crown. Beautiful. On the next inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears. On the exhale, bring those shoulders down and back so that they sit just a little bit lower than before. Take a moment to give yourself gratitude for making time today, for showing up for yourself, for taking a moment to tune into your body. From here, begin to rub the palms of the hands together briskly at heart center, just creating some activating energy. From here, if you'd like to set an intention for today's practice, now would be the time. So today, when we're focusing on silencing the ego, quieting that inner critic, moving away from self-sabotage, remembering that we have choice and we're able to act on those choices. Focus in on maybe one word, it may be a whole sentence. It could be one of your favorite pop songs, that's your anthem. And whenever you have it, go ahead and find stillness at heart center. Press those palms together. Feel the knuckles of the thumbs against your sternum. Begin to vibrate the heart center here as we tune in with the Adi mantra. Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. We'll chant it 3 times. Really chant from the diaphragm, from the belly. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Pull up on root lock. So squeeze the anal sphincter, sex organs. Visualize that energy spiraling from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. And before it's uncomfortable, exhale slowly through the nose. Bring the hands down to the knees. Maybe even down to the floor if you need a little bit more grounding energy. Keep that gaze at the third eye and just take a moment here to witness the space that you've created. Still connected to the breath. Just noticing where you still may be hanging on to any tension in the body. And noticing where your voice may have already created a bit of expansion. Very good. Okay, when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. And we will begin a bit of warm-ups. So go ahead and stay in that seated cross-leg position. We're going to do a little bit of stretching just for the lower hips. So bring the hands on top of the knees, and we're going to begin spiraling or rotating in a circle. So we're going to rotate forward and inhale, rotate backwards on the exhale. You can choose any direction that you'd like because we're going to rotate in the opposite direction in just a bit. Just making sure that the lower body really stays rooted here. So we're trying to get some movement in the hips, trying to get some movement in the lower back. And really just working on your own flexibility. So your circles may look much larger and wider than mine. They may look smaller than mine. It really just depends on what your hips are feeling like today. So let the breath power you. Again, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Just kind of leaning and moving through any of those sticky bits, any of that tightness. I'm going to move that tension out of the body. Good. On your next exhale, take a moment to pause here and then begin rotating in the opposite direction. Still inhaling forward, exhaling back. Maybe noticing if there's any difference here between one side and the other. Not with judgment, but just with curiosity. We tend to cause a lot of our own suffering and sort of invite the ego to play along whenever we try to intellectualize or put meaning to some of these things. So if we say, oh, my left hip must be tight because of blah, 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 blah. We can go on forever that way instead of just figuring out a way to breathe through it and release it and move on. Good. Begin to make your circles smaller and smaller until you come to a neutral place in center. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Good. Bring those hands onto the front of the shins now. And we're going to, again, still use the breath. We're going to rock forward on the inhale, rock backward on the exhale. Just for a few here. This one will show up in our Kriya. Again, a little bit of spinal flexes. This one's also called riding the camel. So if that visualization helps you with the rocking back and forth a little bit, just trying to get some flexibility here to the bottom of the spine. So the yogis believe that your youthfulness can be defined by the flexibility of your spine and your spinal health, because that's where our brain is attached to all the different nerve endings, all of the information that we're trying to send, every sensation that we feel and take in and process. It's all connected to the spine. So whenever we're doing these flexes like this, we're getting all of that, those messages to be kind of free and have those connections open. And we're pumping that cerebral spinal fluid all the way up. So good stuff by just such a very basic movement. Good. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Bring the knees on, or bring the hands onto the knees. Keep those elbows straight for this one. We're going to do the same movement, but we're flexing more of the top of the chest and the upper spine. So still moving forward, but rather than the bottom of the spine, we want to flex that chest forward. Makes it a little bit easier if you keep those elbows straight here and use the hands to sort of help you get some leverage. So we're going to try to open the chest here Open the heart. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Begin to work with the heart center. Start to scan the body to see what other places may start to tense up. So keeping the muscles on the face soft, keeping the neck and the shoulders soft here. Inhale deeply. Exhale consciously. Bring the hands on top of the shoulders. Fingers in front, thumbs in back, and we'll do a little bit of spinal twisting here. So the twisting is going to come mostly from the top of the rib cage. We want to keep the bottom rooted and connected to the ground. Keep those elbows lifted, arms parallel to the floor. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. This one always gives me a little bit of snap, crackle, pop. So just be mindful of what is good movement and what is going to bring you into something that's moving past your edges where you need to be now. Again, we're working with our own flexibility. So you may be moving more than me, you may be getting less flexibility. It's totally fine wherever you're at today. It's just you and your body. Good. Keep those elbows lifted. Inhale, center. Exhale. Let the arms come down. Let the feet come out in front of you. If you're feeling a little bit tight here because you've been sitting for a bit, you can pop the knees back and forth. You can do a little bit of windshield wiper movement. You can even flex the feet up and down, just getting a little bit more circulation into those legs. I have one last warm up here. We will do neck rolls. So we're going to guide the roll with our nose here, staying in a cross-legged position, letting the neck be soft, the shoulders be soft, but keeping that elongated spine here. Begin to rotate the nose upwards on the inhale, downwards on the exhale. Again, just trusting your own range of movement here. This little stretch here has definitely been one of my go-to pit stop stretches in the middle of the day. It's really great for getting tension out of the neck, opening up the throat chakra, working on the thyroid and parathyroid glands. Good. On your next exhale, take a moment to pause at the bottom of that circle and then begin rotating in the opposite direction. Still inhaling up, exhaling down. Good. Slowly begin to make those circles smaller and smaller until you come to a neutral place at center. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Good. Take a moment here again to just check in with your space, scan your body, feel that energy circulating. Notice where there's tension. Celebrate where there's expansion. Okay, from here, we'll do a quick breath work warm up. I want to show you this one as Ego Eradicator. Let's see where I can actually get for you to be able to see the formation. What we're going to do is lift our hands into the air, and you're going to miss a little bit of this, unfortunately. Still working with new technology, but the hands are going to be lifted into the air, and you're going to have the top fingers flexed so that the fingers are touching the top pads of the hand. So right above the palm, that fleshy part, right above the palm. So those fingers are going to be curled in. If they don't curl in all the way or you can't quite touch, that's totally okay. I have some fingers that do not reach. It's just part of it, and it's part of getting those connections and those pathways back open. So do what you can, but you definitely want to have a tension in those top fingers. The thumbs are going to just be out, like hitchhikers, kind of. And you're going to lift the arms into the air about 60 degrees. So if this is about like 45, we'll do a little bit wider here. So maybe you can almost a bit. We're going to be in a cross-legged position. Again, spine is elongated, chin is slightly down and back, gaze is at the third eye. And the breath is breath of fire. And it's called this because there's a lot of navel pumping. It's a real activating, purifying energy. It does a lot to purify the lungs. So I'm definitely not a doctor, and I'm not going to tell you that this is going to keep you from getting COVID. But if you are dealing with allergies, if you've got anything that sort of settles in your chest from time to time, I find I do this one every day because I really struggle with my allergies in Texas. This is going to do a lot to get different things, different toxins, different kind of things that you don't want that are hanging out in your lungs. It's going to pump them out and move them through. So the breath is like a panting, sort of. It's a quick in and out through the nose. And if you can see how my belly is going to pump here, it looks like this. And you definitely want to kind of spread the nostrils if you can. It's not that Darth Vader Ujjayi breath that we do in some different forms of yoga. So if you start to feel any type of dryness in your throat, try to open the nose a little bit more. You can also try to smile a bit, and that will open this cavity a bit. So arms in the air, lifted, hands at 60 degrees, pumping. So we'll only do this for about a minute or two. So try what you can. If you begin to feel lightheaded or dizzy, stop. That's not what you want to feel. So try to get into that rhythm of in and out, in and out, in and out, equal in the nose here. Okay? So let's begin. Good. Inhale deeply. Bring the thumbs to touch overhead as you suspend the breath. Exhale completely. Suspend the breath. Pull up on root lock. Visualize that energy radiating from the base of the spine up through the crown of the head. Exhale, sweep the arms down. Very good. So that is a great one that you can do if you're just starting off, 90 seconds. If you want to add it to your day between 90 seconds and 3 minutes, you can build up to 31, but that's a great one to kind of add to your habits in the morning. It's really going to help just open the chest. It works on the lymphatic system, so flushing a lot of those toxins that we don't want. Really great breath to do. So begin now on Surya Kriya. And again, we're going to continue with that activating energy. So staying in the cross-legged position, bringing the right hand into Gyan Mudra. So thumb tip and index finger touching here. The left hand and the left thumb comes up to close the left nostril. And we're just doing deep, powerful breathing here through the right nostril. So we're working with one side of our body, one hemisphere of our brain. Just calling in on that activating energy in the body. Again, keep that gaze inward and upward at the third eye. With each inhale, feel the ribs widen. Each exhale, feel the tension melt away from your body. Good. Let that left hand come down. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale completely. Very good. Next is Sak Kriya. We're going to do 2 rounds of it, and we have done it a few times on this channel. So if you're looking for a deeper explanation of Sak Kriya, take a look back at some of the previous videos here. As always, I will say if you're having any trouble with your knees, go ahead and put a blanket underneath your heels so that you can get a little bit more lift there and you're not going to be tightening your knees. 2 rounds here. So the fingers are interlaced. The index fingers point up, the thumbs cross over each other, whichever way feels best to you. Bring the arms up overhead, turning in the armpits, turning in the elbows. Gaze inward and upward, and we will chant. Sat Nam, 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 Sat Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. Inhale deeply. Visualize that energy radiating all through your body, pulsing from your navel. Exhale. Bring the arms down. Take a few minutes to tend to your body. If you need to stretch anything out, shake anything, stretch out the legs, take a few moments to do so. We're going to have a second round here. So just a few moments. Let the breath do whatever it wants. Don't try to control it. Good. Okay, let's set ourselves for round two. So again, fingers are intertwined. Index fingers point up, thumbs are crossed. Arms are up and overhead. Bring the shoulders in. Turn the armpits in so that you're squeezing the head. Let those fingers point straight up and we'll chant Sat Nam. Truth is my identity. Sat Nam, 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 Sat Nam. Inhale deeply. Pull up on root walk. Visualize that energy spiraling from the base of the spine, up through the heart center, up through the crown of the head, up through the fingers, radiating through the entirety of your body. Exhale through the nose, bring the arms down, shake them out if you need to. Come down off of the heels, and we're going to move back into that cross-legged posture. We're going to move into some of those spinal flex or camel ride that we were doing earlier. The only difference is this time, we're going to build upon it a little bit. So this time we're going to mentally vibrate Sat Nam like we did before on Surya Kriya. But as we rotate forward, Sat, on the exhale, Nam, and on the exhale, we're also going to apply a little bit of Mula Bandha or a little bit of root lock. So we're going to squeeze up. So when we rock forward, inhale, mentally vibrate Sat. On the exhale, mentally vibrate Nam and give it a little squeeze, okay? So begin there. Really let the mantra, let the breath power you through this one. Good. Inhale forward. Exhale consciously. Good. Okay, so for this next one, we're moving into frog pose. And this one, so we've done a little bit of spinal flexing, and now we want to move it all the way up the spine into the head. So this is going to require a little bit of inversion here. So what we're going to do is come to a squatting position. So you want it to where your heels are going to touch and your toes are going to be kind of at like a 45-degree angle. And your hands come on to, depending on how you're set up, they may still be on your mat, they may be off, just something that's in front of you to help support you. We do want to keep this here. And this movement is going to be the exhale. So when we come back down and we're facing forward, that will be the exhale. On the inhale, what we're going to do is push up through those toes, let the heels stay together, and let the face come towards the knee as much as possible. Now, if this is too much, or if you can only bend this much, if it's hard for you to keep your heels up and you want to have like a rolled blanket underneath to help with that stability, that's totally fine. So the movement's going to look like this. We're going to inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. And we're just going to do 15 of these. At your own pace, I have found that it's better to go faster. But this is your experiment, so do whatever you'd like to do. But do 15 at your own pace, and whenever you're done, you're just going to come into a forward fold here. Very good. When you come into that forward fold, again, let there be a bend in the knee if you need it. Take a moment here to just let everything travel up the spine. From this forward bend, we can come down onto our knees, lower down onto the heels for child's pose. Let the forehead come down to the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. Good. With your next inhale, bring those palms underneath the shoulders. Use the hands to push yourself up slowly so that your head is the last bit to rise. And we'll come back seated onto our heels. So if you still need to take a sec to tend to the legs, give them a little flex. That frog pose works a lot on the hamstrings and the quads. We feel a little bit there. Take a moment to do so. Okay. I'm going to come back on the heels now. For a bit of neck turns. And again, we're going to come back to mentally vibrating Sat and Nam. So we're seated in rock pose. Can remove the fleshy parts from underneath your bum so that it feels like you're sitting on rocks. Keeping that spine elongated. The hands come resting on top of the thighs. And we're going to just move the neck left and right. So as we inhale to the left, we'll mentally vibrate Sat. As we exhale to the right, mentally vibrate Nam. And the most important part here, besides staying attached to that mantra, is making sure that we're moving the head here in a way that's as frictionless as possible. It's almost like it's a ball bearing. So we're moving the neck, but the muscles on the face, shoulders, everything else is very soft. Just inhaling left, exhaling right. Sat, Nam. Good. Good. Inhale at center. Exhale. Good. Okay. 2 more as part of this Kriya. So come sitting down, back in a cross-legged position. This is another sort of spinal bend, but we are, again, keeping the foundation of the body very grounded to the floor. And we're just going to move the top part of the spine. So rather than moving back and forth like we were before, we're going to sway side to side. And this is going to be sort of like a tree. So we're going to keep the fingers on top of the shoulders, thumbs and back. And we're just moving from side to side. Inhaling left, exhaling right. And we're trying to get a little bit of bend or a little bit of crunch in this side rib here. So the tendency will be to drop the elbow and to try to bend as far down as possible. We're not looking for that. We're just looking for a little bit of bending and swaying in this side back rib cage here. So we're swaying sort of like a palm tree. We're keeping that base, we're keeping that stable foundation, but we're still able to move and flex. This one's also really good for the aura. So I also like to think of this one as being a little windshield wiper to wipe away just all the shit, all the crud that doesn't need to be there anymore. Inhaling left, exhaling right. This is working on the heart chakra again. So focusing in on where this may be causing a bit of tension. Scary to open the heart, scary to be vulnerable and put ourselves in that position. So what else may start tensing? The jaw, the muscles on the face, the shoulders, the neck. What can you let go of and breathe through? Good. Stay lifted in your bend. We're almost there. Good. Inhale deeply to center. Exhale completely. Let the arms come down onto the knees into Gyan Mudra. So index fingers touching the thumb here. Resting on the tops of the knees. And we are going to pull in a constant mulaband or a constant root lock here. So squeezing that anal sphincter, sex organs, and doing long, deep breathing. So pulling up on that lock, breathing through it, feeling that containment. If you need to drop out, it's fine, it's normal. But whenever you notice it, find that strength to come back into it and continue with the breath here. This is a very healing little bit of meditation that's included at the end here. And again, if it helps you, if you're experiencing that mental chatter, if that ego is throwing a tantrum because it doesn't like sitting still, continue to vibrate Sat Nam. Sat on the inhale, Nam on the exhale. Good, stick with it. That voice of self-sabotage also likes to kick us when we're down. So if you have dropped out of the lock already, it may be pointing at you, it may be teasing you, it may be telling you you're not good enough, or you failed, or you didn't do it right. So just recognize that that's bullshit, tell it to kindly go away, and just get right back on. Try again. It's all about being playful with your practice, not taking ourselves too seriously, and just finding a way to come into union with our mind and body. almost there. You got this. Good. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Good. You made it through the Kriya. So we'll get ready now. Tend to your body if you need to. If you need to stretch out your legs, shake out your arms, roll out your neck, anywhere else that you may be holding tension, even though we were just focused on applying that root lock, sometimes when we're doing that, our body may lock up in other areas too. So take a moment to just notice and tend to that if you need. The next one, I'm going to be lifted up. This one's still cross-leg. Anytime I do a meditation, I like to sit on a cushion, blanket, pillow, something like that, just so that I have very tight hips, so I can give my spine just a little bit more space to sit up and not be sort of crunched at the bottom. So this one's called Meditation to Change the Ego, and it's really great for working with any type of tension or hypertension in the body, and it uses box breathing. So there is a rhythm that you will hang on to and let it anchor you during this. And what it looks like is inhaling for 8 counts, holding the breath, suspending the breath at the top for 8 counts, exhaling for 8, and then again, holding that breath and suspending for 8. So inhaling for 8 counts, suspending the breath for 8 counts, exhaling for 8, and letting it hold there for 8. Now use your best judgment. You could use a very long 1, 2, 3, or it may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on where your breath is at. So just make sure that you're keeping that same rhythm. Whatever you're doing, try to stick to it. And as you go on longer, try to draw it out and try to get it to be longer, because you'll find when you do the inhale, it raises your blood pressure slightly. And that's not just for this, just anytime you inhale, it raises your blood pressure. So you'll feel that tension start to rise. But when you hang on to it, when you're exhaling and still hanging on, you'll find you can get a lot of relaxing and releasing in the body. The mudra is the arms will be in at the side. The hands will be in very loose fists with the thumbs together right in front of the heart center. And we're going to look down at the knuckles and the thumb. So we're just keeping this right in front of us, keeping that spine elongated. We don't want to curl into it. Keeping that spine lifted, keeping that chest lifted, looking down at the thumbs in front of the body. Inhaling for 8. Holding for 8. Exhale for 8. Hold for 8. In and out through the nose. So begin here. Bring that intention back into your mind during this meditation. We're letting go of tension, letting go of self-sabotage, telling the ego it can fuck right off. And remembering that we have choice. Keep that gaze on the thumbs, the heart center, focused on what is right in front of you. Good. We're a little over halfway. Good. Inhale deeply. Stretch the arms overhead. Flex the hands, flex the fists, in and out. Just a few times. Get that blood pumping. Good. Relax the arms down. Relax the breath. Bring yourself lying down onto your back now for deep relaxation. If you want to cover yourself with a blanket, you can. Allow yourself to come lying down now to integrate all of the work that you've put in today. So let your feet spread as wide as your mat. Let your hands fall away from the sides of your body, palms facing up. Let the shoulders come away from your ears. Relax the breath. Let it do whatever it wants as the energy circulates. Relax the tops of your feet, your ankles, calves and knees. Relax the thighs. Relax the hips. As you relax the breath, relax the lower back, relax the belly, relax the ribs and the shoulder blades, allowing yourself to sink deeper into your support. Relax the hands, relax the elbows, Relax the shoulders and the neck. Relax the jaw so that there's space between the back of the teeth. The muscles on the face, the eyes behind the eyelids, brow, forehead, scalp are all at ease. Take this time now to let your body heal its 3 trillion plus cells. Slowly begin to deepen your breath as you return back to your body in this moment in time and space. Begin to invite tiny movements into your fingertips and toes. Begin to rotate the hands around the wrists and the feet around the ankles in all directions. On your next inhale, bring the feet together, bring the arms up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch, just like you're waking up in the morning. On the exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Rock from side to side. Give that lower back, those kidneys and adrenals, a little love, a little bit of massage. From here, begin to rub together the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet. Rub the tongue along the roof of the mouth briskly, stimulating the body's energy centers and meridian points. And from here, you can either rock and roll along the spine at least 3 times, or you can turn yourself over to one side and just push yourself up. So it is here that we will end today's practice. By the way, this sign was crooked the entire time, and if it bothered you, you're welcome. I noticed it at the beginning and it bothered me too, but I thought, hey, let's just live in imperfection, right? So let's come together to sing the Long Time Sunshine song, reconnect with our intention for today. We're going to sing it the first time for ourselves. If there's any type of choice that you've been meaning to make, any type of action that you want to make, visualize that for yourself. And you're maybe struggling, anyone that you would like to remember their choice, visualize that. And then we'll end with one long Satnam. So bring those palms in together, that heart center, one more time. Feel the thumbs against the sternum. Reconnect with your intention. Reconnect with your choice and your ability to take action. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And inhale to sing. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Nam. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be holy. Maybe remember that the ego is not in control and that we can overcome self-sabotage by using our choice and following through with action. Satnam. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that this helps to bring you a little bit of relief. All of my thoughts are with you. This time sucks, but we're going to get through it together as long as you remember that it is a marathon. So let's keep those expectations in our mind. Let's keep the ones that we love close and continue to join in union. Thanks, guys.